There are tons of maps in Rivals, and today I'm going to be ranking them all from worst to best. So if you want to know where your favorite map lands on this list, then be sure to watch until the end of the video. And I'm doing a giveaway for 70,000 subscribers. I'm giving away a legendary key bundle and a skin case 3, and all you have to do to enter the giveaway is like, subscribe, watch until the end, and comment your Roblox username. And yes, I do know if you watch to the end or not, so don't be cheeky and just watch part of the video and not watch until the end, because I can see everything. But to rank all these maps, I have 3 tiers today, and all these maps are going to land somewhere within these tiers. Starting out at the bottom tier, we have the poop tier, which is like the worst maps, and then moving up 1 tier, we have the good tier, which is, you know, just your playable maps. And then of course at the top we have the goated tier, which is the best of the best. So watch until the end to know where your favorite map lands in this list. But without further ado, let's move on with this video. Starting out with the worst map in my opinion, it's actually the shooting range. I don't really enjoy the shooting range at all. It's usually in free-for-all or like team deathmatch and like bigger games like that. It might even be able to be voted for in 4v4, but I'm not entirely sure about that. The shooting range, just in my opinion, is not exactly meant to be played like in a game, and that's why it's available in the lobby, and I think it should honestly stay that way. I don't exactly think the shooting range should be a playable map because it doesn't feel like a playable map. You know, the gameplay flow, it's usually all taking place up here, but then down below there's people like stragglers down there that kind of just, they don't get to be a part of what's going on up here because they're down there, and it's just very hard to navigate this map in general, and it just doesn't really feel good to play on in my opinion. And it's very long range based, but there's much better long range based maps in the game, like I don't know, Crossroads for example. And even then, I don't think Crossroads is the best map in the game exactly, but be sure to stay tuned to see where that map lands on this list. I just think shooting range overall is not the greatest map in the game. I don't exactly know what else to say about it. I mean, the bounce pads are nice. These things are kind of weird. I'm not sure what to think about these. I just think it's not great. I mean, even then, like, even if you wanted to play on this map, you can't really play this during like 1v1s, so it's just not really worth it. Like, every time I queue into a free-for-all or a team deathmatch and I get shooting range, I leave that game immediately. Next up in the poop tier, we actually have Onyx. This map is a lot better than it once was, but I still think this map is outshined by pretty much every other map in the game. Also, by the way, I feel like you guys should know the big versions of these maps, like Big Onyx for example, I would place these in the exact same spot as its smaller counterpart, so just keep that in mind. So like Big Onyx for example wouldn't be any better than like regular Onyx, if that makes sense. So that's why the big versions of maps aren't in this game. But Onyx is, I don't know, it's not the best map in the game. I feel like it just doesn't do its job very well. The flow of the game when I play on Onyx isn't very good. I mean, you could die very easily just like being out here. I don't know what that thing is. It kind of reminds me of like the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith map, or I said map, the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith like planet, the lava planet. And as cool as this map looks, I just don't think it's good for gameplay, and that's why I don't really like this map all that much at all. Nobody ever really plays on it, but I would have to say that this map it's came a long way since it you know, it first came out. Like, this revamp is a lot better than the original. The original I would have placed at the bottom, but it's much better now. Next up we have Backrooms. I think Backrooms is a very confusing map, and that's what makes this map not that great at all. It's very hard to navigate, and you actually have no idea where the enemy's gonna be, so you could literally just like get snuck up on and there's nothing you can really do about it. And then a lot of people that play on Backrooms, they like to spam like Molotovs and flare guns and flamethrowers, and it's just not a fun experience when that happens. And the funny thing is about Backrooms is that it's a relatively small map, but it doesn't feel small at all because there's so many like twists and turns, and it's just hard to navigate. I think there's better options out there. I guess Backrooms it's a good novelty map. Like, I think it's unique in a way, because, you know, there's no Backrooms maps on any FPS games that I've ever seen before, and I don't know, I used to be pretty interested in the Backrooms like back in the day when they were trying to find the original image of the Backrooms, but I don't think it works well as an FPS map. Let's just put it that way. It's a little different. It's kind of dark and dreary, and I mean, I don't really like that too much, especially in a cartoony FPS game like Rivals. It just doesn't fit the game very well, and I just think it could play a little bit better. I definitely think there's a lot better options out there. That being said though, on the topic of like dark and dreary maps, I think Graveyard is a slight step ahead of Backrooms. This is the last map in the poop tier. I don't think Graveyard is a good map at all. I do do enjoy it when I play on it sometimes, but I only like to play on it for like free-for-all, for example, because I think it works as a good free-for-all map, but I think for 1v1s and 2v2s, this is just a weird map just to play on for that. It's a very eye-catching map. I think it is a good-looking map. It's very well put together, but it just doesn't play as good as it could. I think there's definitely some benefits to playing on this map, but I don't think it's I don't think it's worth playing on. I know there's a version of this map in like free-for-all where there's like a hole in the wall right here and it kind of just expands down below there, which is good, especially for like game modes with higher amounts of players. And I do kind of like the aesthetics of this map. Like I said, it doesn't exactly match the Rivals aesthetic being, you know, like dark and dreary. And I think sometimes like the moon turns red or something like that in this map, and like, yeah, it's a cool map, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it plays very well. So that was all the maps in the poop tier. Let's move on to the good tier. Starting at the bottom of the good tier, we have Bridge. Now, this could be kind of a controversial one because I think a lot of people do like Bridge, but in my opinion, I think it's not the best. It's not the worst. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a good map, but I just feel like it's a little... I feel like it could play better. You know what I mean? Because my problem with Bridge is that you know where your enemies are at, like, constantly, and your enemy knows where you're at constantly, because you always spawn in the same spot. You spawn over here, and you spawn over there. So the enemies just immediately push you, and I think this map just makes... It makes the 1v1 more difficult than it has to be, is what I'm trying to say, because it is a very tiny map. It's a very tiny map and the cover's kind of weird. I mean, a lot of people just kind of jump on this bus here instead of using it as cover, and that's another thing. But it is a very good looking map, as I said. I'm not really judging these maps based off looks. I'm judging them more off of playability. Don't get me wrong, looks do have a part in it, but I think playability is more important over all of them. Now, this map looks really good, but I feel like it just kind of gets outshined by other maps, especially maps that are kind of in the same like size range as this map. Yeah, I don't exactly have much to say about Bridge. Let's just hope PewDiePie doesn't get on this map. Next up in the good tier, we have Splash. I think this is a very good map. I like this map a lot. But then again, it's another playability problem with this map. I feel like it's definitely better suited for like 2v2s rather than 1v1s. It is a good map. I think it plays a little funny, and it's definitely a very good looking map. I like the bright colors and just the overall vibe of this map. It was also pretty cool during the winter when it was like winter themed and there's like ice on the ground. I think that was pretty cool too. But I think there's some maps that are better than Splash. I know that Splash kind of has some problems in a playability aspect. Like if you go up here, you can just see pretty much everybody in the line of sight. There's not too much cover in this map, and that's one of my main problems. Like you can hide behind these, but people up there could see you. And I feel like it's just a little bit harder to play on than some other maps in the game, and that's why it's kind of coming in where it is in this list. There's better options out there, but there's definitely a lot worse options out there. I don't think this is a bad map at all. I also like the little jump pad in the middle here, the little trampoline. I think that adds a lot to this map, but I feel like it has some qualities that need to be redeemed. Okay. Next up, we have Crossroads. This is a very, very popular map, but I'm not really a fan of it at all. I mean, it's definitely a sniping map. It's a very open, it's a big open map. And also, if you're a Roblox OG like me, I've been playing since like 2012 on some old accounts, and I made my main account in 2014, but it's based off the old Roblox Crossroads map, if you've seen that. So I like the vibe of this map, definitely. I just don't like the way it plays. It doesn't exactly suit my playstyle personally. Now, if you're good at sniping, I can see why you like this map, but it's just not really for me. Like, for example, I think there's some open spots, like definitely in that area right there, or like up here, which can let you get picked off really, really easily. And this map has also had a lot of problems with like bugs and glitches. Like, I know there used to be a trowel glitch to where you could use that trampoline there and just like go flying in the sky. And I know there's some glitches to where you can kind of go out of bounds in this map, like behind some of these signs here. Like, I think you can go behind this Super Golf sign right here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you can go right behind this sign and boom, you're basically invisible. I don't know, it's just a very silly map. I think there's better options out there. A lot of people might like it, but I'm just not a fan. Next up, we have Battleground. I think Battleground kind of gives the same feeling as Crossroads in the fact that it's a pretty big and open map, but I feel like it executes it a little bit better than Crossroads does. Like, if you don't want to snipe, you don't have to snipe on this map, kind of like with Crossroads, how people kind of feel pressured into using sniper on this map. This map, you can use automatics and be perfectly fine with it, but you could snipe as well. I definitely think this is the perfect like 2v2 or 4v4 map. It's a very nice big map, and it can pretty much accommodate like any game. I know you can't play this in like 1v1s, but I think this is a very good map in my opinion. It's not the most detailed map in the world, but it doesn't necessarily need that. I think it plays pretty well for what it is. It's got kind of the same vibe as Arena with like the crosses and the checkered patterns. And of course you have a little bit of cover like right here, and you can just boom like that. And you have these walls right here for cover too. Now one thing that I have noticed is that it is kind of a sweaty map. A lot of the tryhards like to play on this map from my experience. Now I don't know if that's true for everyone, but I think overall this isn't a bad map. I think it's definitely worth a shot if you haven't tried it already. Next up we have Construction. I think Construction is one of the best maps in the game, and that's kind of why it's at the bottom of the good tier, but I think there's a couple maps that are better than Construction. This is a very beautiful map. I think this map is very well put together in a visual aspect, but I think in a playability aspect it could be a little better. I know a lot of people like to sit on the crane, which I do find annoying sometimes, but it is what it is. And then one of the main complaints about this map is that you can fall off like super easily, and I think the map would be a lot better if you like couldn't do that. I've lost so many matches by like falling off on accident. It's just actually so annoying, and I think the map would definitely be a lot better without that. And then one of my other complaints is that I just accidentally killed myself. Like point proven. Let me see if I can jump over here and show you one of my other points. So you can hide like back here, and like you could actually like go to like a draw, or like the other person could win on damage just because they're hiding back here and you can't find them. There's a lot of like really funky and weird hiding spots in this map, and that's what I don't like about it. And then a lot of the times you can just like you can get over to this side really easily and just wipe out the enemy like super quick, or they could do that to you, and that's not fun. A lot of people also like to throw their Molotovs right here, like right off the bat, because a lot of people like to jump right on top of this crate first thing, and I feel like this map can be a little predictable at times, and that's one of the other things I don't like about it. But overall I think this map definitely plays a lot better than a lot of the other maps in this game, and that's why it's placing at the top of the good tier. Now that we've been through the good tier, it's time to move on to the goated tier. Starting at the bottom of the goated tier, we have probably a very controversial pick. This is Playground. I love Playground. I think this is a very good map, and it's definitely super underrated. It's perfect for 1v1s, 2v2s, 4v4s. The layout of the map is super nice. I mean, you have plenty of cover right here, and even if someone like jumps up here to this middle spot, you still have plenty of cover, and just there's no OP spots in this map is kind of what I'm trying to say. It's a very even map in terms of like the playing field. Like this map doesn't give like anyone any advantages over the other. It's a very equal map, and on top of like the playability of this map, it's a very nice looking map as well. I like the vibes of it. I like how there's like trees around, and like I like the wooden walls. It's a very nice looking map. It's very clean, and of course there's a lot of people that like to hide in these crates behind like those boxes, and I think that's pretty funny sometimes. And these tires also just add an extra fun factor to the map that I like a lot as well. I can't really find any negatives about this map personally. I mean, it might be a little big for a 1v1, but it's not really that big of a deal. Overall, I've always had a positive experience on this map. I don't have any complaints about this map at all. I love Playground. I think it's pretty good, and I think it's really underrated. If you haven't tried this map at all, then I'd definitely recommend giving it a try. And next up we have Docks. I love Docks. Docks pretty much works well for any game mode. It's another jack of all trades map in my opinion. This map works well for 1v1s. It works well for 2v2s. It works well for 4v4s. It even works well for free-for-all in my opinion, or team deathmatch, or even gun game. I mean, overall, this is just a very solid map. Now, I don't know if Docks or Legacy Docks is better in my opinion. I know Legacy Docks is a little different from normal Docks. I think Legacy Docks, it had like this building right here not connected or something like that. I don't know. But the difference between the two is pretty negligible. I know a lot of people don't like the new Docks compared to the old Docks, but I think it definitely has its pros and cons. And again, it's also just a very good looking map. I like the shipping containers around here. The buildings look very nice. It's a very good looking map, and I mean, you could even like, I remember during I think it was the hunt. Yeah, they had a little charm back here that you had to collect, and that was pretty cool. But I don't think I've personally ever had a bad experience with this map at all. I think every time I play on Docks, I'm pretty pleased with it. And this is another map to where you can pretty much use any gun on it that you want, and you could still be successful. You could snipe on this map. You could use assault rifle on this map. You could use paintball gun on this map. You could use pretty much any gun in this map and be perfectly fine. And that's one of the things that I really do like about docks. And that's why I believe it deserves a spot in the goated tier for sure. And next up, this is a very, very controversial placing. We have Arena. And I don't think Arena is the best map in Rivals. I think there's one map that's slightly better than Arena. I think Arena is definitely one of the best maps in the game, easily. And I can see why a lot of people really like this map. It's a pretty ugly map in my opinion, but it does the job. I mean, it plays really well. It's a good functioning map. I don't think this map is very good for I don't think this map is good for anything other than 1v1s or 2v2s. I think this map pretty much sucks on 3v3s or 4v4s. And in fact, I'm not even sure if you can vote for the normal Arena on those on those game modes, but I think Arena can get a little hectic at times, and that's what I don't like about it. I mean, like, everyone kind of knows the best strategies to play on Arena. They know exactly where to throw their Molotovs. They know exactly where the enemy's going to come from. And a lot of people just memorize the spawns and know where everything's at on this map. And I think it's just overplayed, and that's why I don't think this deserves to be the #1 map in Rivals. I think there's one better option. And that better option, in my opinion, has the best mix between looks and playability in the entire game. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And the #1 map in Rivals is none other than Station. Yeah. So I think Station is the best map in Rivals. I think this map is absolutely beautiful. I love this map. The aesthetics of this map are really nice. The playability of this map's really nice. You have plenty of cover. You can use any gun that you want in this map and be fine. You can snipe on this map. You can use assault rifle on this map. You can use any gun you want on this map. And all the while at the same time, it's just a very, very nice looking map. I love the sunset. It gives makes the colors look like very nice in this map. I don't know how to put it. I've never had one bad experience with Station. In fact, a lot of the times I'll vote Station over Arena, even if the other person is even if the other team completely votes Arena. I'll vote against 4 people just for Station, not gonna lie. It's one of my favorite maps in the entire game. I like the entire vibe and aesthetic of it. And of course you can hide in buildings and stuff like that if you want a closer range experience. You could use shotgun in some of these buildings and still be able to win. And you can't really do that with some of the other maps in the game. Like I said, you can use shotgun, you can snipe, you can use assault rifle, you can use anything you want on this map and still be perfectly fine. And that's what I really like about Station. I think it's the perfect jack of all trades map in Rivals. It's the perfect balance between playability and looks. Let me know your map rankings in the comments below and subscribe for more Rivals videos just like this.